Hello, everybody, and happy 4th of July. It's quite fitting this is the 4th episode of the Freedom Chronicles shorts here, so thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time there's a new video. Tomorrow, July 5th, there will be a new full episode of the Freedom Chronicles you don't want to miss. We have a great guest lined up for that. And make sure if you're on Rumble that you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the Rumble account. That's what really helps us out a lot. And hit that like button on Rumble. Comment down below, and you see that little red button next to the subscribe button. Well, hit that, and you can join the locals community for the Freedom Chronicles. You can get exclusive content, great posts, some rant videos from Ken Lovejoy, as well as some extra long episodes and some good stuff. And go over to the Freedom Chronicles shop. Get yourself some merch, a nice Get Loud Locally Freedom Cow shirt, maybe the JFK shirt with "If not us, who? If not now, when?" as well as this JFK one. I will splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the winds. Or you have this one as well. Evil is powerless if the good are unafraid. Fantastic Ronald Reagan quote. And you can go to the shop via the link down in the description or use that QR code that was on the screen as well. So today's the 4th of July, and I want to talk about a couple things here. First of all, be a patriot every day. That's what I'm going to call this episode. Be a patriot every day. Today's the 4th of July. You're going to go out. You're going to have a great time. You're going to shoot off some fireworks. You're going to watch people shoot off some fireworks. You're going to wear your red, white, and blue, just like I'm wearing my red, white, and blue Yankee hat today. I'm waiting for the Yankee game to start at the time of recording this. And it's great to do it today. Today is Independence Day. The 4th of July should always be remembered and talked about. However, be a patriot every single day. Walk every day of your life as a patriot and love this country and stand up for this country and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I literally printed this out because there's so much I want to say, and I'll try to get it done pretty quickly here. But Jack Posobiec also tweeted out, America is not just an idea. America is not just any land. America is our home. And by the grace of God, we will defend her. We applaud Jack Posobiec for tweeting that out. I love it. And I literally have 3 pages here of things I want to get to because I saw 2 great posts, one of which was shared by James Woods, fantastic actor. Make sure you watch anything he's in. He's always great. And also shared by the redheaded libertarian on Twitter. And both of them, and as well as myself, I'm going to share with you what Michael Smith wrote about what happened to the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Quote, have you ever wondered what happened to the 56 men who signed the Declaration of Independence? 5 signers were captured by the British as traitors and tortured before they died. 12 had their homes ransacked and burned. 2 lost their sons in the Revolutionary Army. Another had 2 sons captured. 9 of the 56 fought and died from wounds or hardships of the Revolutionary War. They signed and pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. What kind of men were they? 24 were lawyers and jurists, 11 were merchants, 9 were farmers and large plantation owners, men of means, well educated. But they signed the Declaration of Independence knowing full well that the penalty would be death if they were captured. Carter Braxton of Virginia, a wealthy planter and trader, saw his ships swept from the seas by the British Navy. He sold his home and properties to pay his debts and died in rags. Thomas McKean was so hounded by the British that he was forced to move his family almost constantly. He served in the Congress without pay, and his family was kept in hiding. His possessions were taken from him, and poverty was his reward. Vandals or soldiers or both looted the properties of Ellery, Clymer, Hall, Walton, Gwinnett, Hayward, Rutledge, and Middleton. At the Battle of Yorktown, Thomas Nelson Jr. noted that the British General Cornwallis had taken over the Nelson home for his headquarters. The owner quietly urged General George Washington to open fire. The home was destroyed and Nelson died bankrupt. Francis Lewis had his home and properties destroyed. The enemy jailed his wife and she died within a few months. John Hart was driven from his wife's bedside as she was dying. Their 13 children fled for their lives. His fields and his grist mill were laid to waste. For more than a year, he lived in forests and caves, returning home to find his wife dead and his children vanished. A few weeks later, he died from exhaustion and a broken heart. Norris and Livingston suffered similar fates. Such were the stories and sacrifices of the American Revolution. These were not wild-eyed, rabble-rousing ruffians. They were soft-spoken men of means and education. They had security, but they valued liberty more. Standing tall, straight, and unwavering, they pledged, quote, "for the support of this declaration with firm reliance on the protection of the divine providence. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor," end quote. You have to applaud what these people stood up for and were willing to give up. Jeff Childs wrote on his Substack that he writes daily. I want to read this with you, and then we'll wrap it up here. He wrote, quote, "Don't give up the ship." In American colonies, the settling of North America, historian Alan Taylor estimated that during the Revolutionary War, up to 30% of Americans remained British loyalists, including most of the powerful elites in big cities like Boston and New York, who were the feudal system's primary beneficiaries. They didn't want any newfangled, self-ruling government. Another third were independents, tilting back and forth with the tides of fate, leaning whichever direction seemed most promising to them in the moment. The remaining third were the real revolutionaries, the Americans who committed their lives and sacred honors to the cause of freedom, justice, and equality among men. Against all odds, that faithful third changed the world, and at times their prospects looked incredibly bleak. You know the story. When then General George Washington led his daring attack across the Delaware River on December 25th, 1776, the Continental Army's chances were unimaginably poor. As it was then known, the Battle of Trenton started after a series of awful defeats and stinging setbacks for the ragtag American forces, which created a string of humiliating retreats and a profoundly destructive loss of morale. At that point in the war, the well-equipped British Army had won a successive series of significant victories and effectively hounded the Continental Army completely out of New York City. American supplies, ammunition, and funding were scarce, leaving many hapless troops literally barefoot. Critically, many American soldiers' enlistment contracts expired at the end of the year, and the ice-cold recruits were counting the minutes till they could head home, if not outright deserting to depart early, leaving Washington with a rapidly shrinking force of mostly demoralized fighters. It was probably Washington's last chance. The American army was desperately in need of a significant victory to boost morale and quench further desertions. The attack on Trenton was a calculated risk that Washington took, trying to turn the tide and rebuild confidence in the Continental Army. Against all predictions, under miraculous circumstances, including a sudden and unexpected concealment blanket of fog, ingenuity, and dogged determination, the successful surprise attack on the Hessian forces stationed at Trenton on that Christmas night delivered a badly needed morale boost and turned the tide for the American cause. The Battle of Trenton boosted support for the war and inspired further enlistments, finally proving that the American forces were capable of possibly winning against the most powerful, well-funded, and well-equipped army in the world. It would be a grave disservice to the American freedom fighters of 1776 for us to abandon today's celebration just because the odds seem equally against us now. We are a nation of underdogs. Today we literally celebrate bad odds of being an outnumbered, outgunned remnant that looks likely to lose. The point is, if these days you are feeling like an oppressed underdog, like the odds of success are insurmountably poor, that your own countrymen have deserted you, then remember the remnant of General Washington's army that squished the Hessians into jelly and won the Battle of Trenton. Remember that only a faithful remnant is required to miraculously reverse the odds and claim an impossible victory, an unimaginable success that goes on to change the world for the better forever. as America has done over and over. Be of good cheer, especially on this Independence Day, when we celebrate victories against all odds, triumph in the face of all fear, success in the moment of all doubt. It is our heritage and our birthright, and however tarnished it might look right now, the American story is far from finished. We give it up for Jeff Childers on that, for writing that on his Substack. I highly recommend. Go follow these people. I'm just sharing the message because I think it's important for everybody to hear. I give you my own insight as well, and I hope you appreciate that. I hope everybody has a happy 4th of July. See what the founders went through for this country, and be a patriot every single day. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Big episode coming tomorrow, July 5th. Happy 4th of July. We'll see you in the next video.